And now, ladies and gentlemen of the old world, we're back in business with the showdown between the Greenskins, who shall be led by Wurzog, the Great Green Prophet. And today, my friends, we face off against the Tomb Kings, who shall be led by Outer Region. And of course, it's going to be the classic competitive pick of Ark in the Black. Now, as far as my build goes, it's very much going to be a Savage Rush. So here in the front, we do have the Savage Orc Biggins, which are exceptional against Tomb Kings. These guys hit like absolute linebackers. 46 weapon strength, anti-large, 49 melee attack. If you're fighting Skeleton Spears or Skeleton Warriors or even Tomb Guard, these Savage Orc Biggins are going to be able to just be absolute lawnmowers and cut through those guys and really show no mercy. So front line is going to be Savage Orc Biggins. Secondary line is going to be Stone Trolls, trying to make my opponent pay the Stone Troll toll. We also have Bob. So Bob is the acronym here for the Black Orc Big Boss, and I think Bob is a very fitting name for him and his pig. But he does give immune to psychology to nearby troops. So for example, my Savage Orc Biggins, when their frenzy is gone, will remain immune to psychology if he's nearby. And also the Stone Trolls are going to be getting a very valuable immune to psych. On top of that, we have the Brass Cleaver to give 9 melee attack, and that is pretty much it. So Savage Orcs and Trolls in the front, Wurzog with the Bonewood Staff and some magic support. And in the back here, we do have some Orc Boar Boys and 2 Spider Riders. So basically, each Boar Boy is going to be teamed up with a Spider Rider to press Ushapti Great Bows and win the battlefield control game. So for my opponent's build, it's going to be pretty cool. I definitely like it. Skeleton Warriors with Ushapti Great Bow. Great Bows have great AP values, and if they are able to sit on top of Stone Trolls or different targets like that, they should be able to rain some hellish fire for sure. But it's going to be hard to protect. He does have some Nehekar Warriors and Horsemen, or Nehekar Horsemen on the flank, it looks like. But yeah, that's going to be a lot to stop for sure with Orc Boar Boys plus the frontal pressure. He's got Ark in the Black with Spirit Leech and the Skeleton Summon Sword, and it looks like it is going to be the Sphinx of Usef, which I think is a great choice. Anti-large, armor piercing, fire damage, so against Stone Trolls, which I think are going to be very meta in this matchup, that is an incredible choice for sure. He's got a Necrotect, and on the far side, he does have more Nehekar Horsemen to try and control the mobile game. Now I'm going to be taking approach here through the forest, so basically I'm just moving up and trying to stay in the trees for as long as I possibly can, because he does indeed have the Ushapti Great Bows, which if they are able to sit and shoot at any of my trolls or characters or things like that, Wurzog with Spirit Leech on him, it could be a very bad situation for me. So I didn't actually know we had these guys in the trees here. They're currently hidden, of course, so he's got 2 Nehekar Horsemen, which will put up a good fight against my pigs, but with magic support and some goblins nearby, it should be an okay fight for me. But this is where things get a little bit messy. The Ushapti Great Bows are going to be teeing off here into the Stone Trolls, and the Stone Trolls are paying a bit of a troll toll. They're currently, relatively healthy, haven't lost too many models. And yeah, the Ushapti Great Bows definitely want to be deeper set back. I think if he had deployed back here and just kind of skirmished and forced me to chase him, could have been better, because in this case, I get into his front lines very, very quickly, just kind of emerging out of the trees. So Brain Buster going down, which will be triggering the Bonewood Staff. Suddenly, all of my army has massive melee tech values. And the big old Stone Trolls are going to be piling into the front line with the Savage Orc Biggins following up. And of course, a very good play from my opponent, getting the big old anti-large Fire Beast here to attack my Stone Trolls, but Bob is here as well. And Bob is going to be giving immune to psych to all these units. And look how quickly those Skeleton Warriors are just getting buzzsawed. It is absolutely brutal. The Stone Trolls plus the Savage Orc Biggins is a very, very nasty frontline combo. So here, Wurzog is going to be getting Spirit Leech worn down a little bit by Ark in the Black. But as far as the other fights go, it's going pretty well here in the trees. Spider Riders and Pigs plus the AP Gloonies are able to push back these guys. And if we look on the other side of the battlefield, you'll notice the same thing is basically happening. The Wa is active, my Pigs are angry, the Hog is looking to feast tonight, and the Nehekar Horsemen are being forced back. So with how quickly the front line did crumple here, you can see the Stone Trolls are going to be chasing down these Ushapti Great Bows in a very, very aggressive manner. And yeah, they're a great answer. I mean, 54 speed against 62, it looks like. No, 54, 54. So they're actually the same speed, the Trolls and whatnot. But my opponent here does pull back the Sphinx with his anti-large and the fire damage, and the Stone Trolls could actually be terror routed here, which would be quite nasty. But Bob is coming to the rescue, and Bob is not going to be letting any of those Stone Trolls go. Oh, never mind, he totally is. He didn't get there in time, and unfortunately the Trolls do get terror routed there. Also, an Ushapti Summon is going to be going down to try and salvage the frontline engagement and buy a little bit of time for his Great Bows to pull back. But the rest of the front line for the Tomb Kings absolutely crumped. The Savage Orcs, 92 kills. We have 119 here, and we do drop an effigy of Degit from Wurzog, the Dancing Man himself, and he is on his pig back there. But this is pretty much going to spell doom here for the Ushapti Great Bows, as all of the Wild Hogs are going to be charging in. And bacon's back on the menu, boys, as these Ushapti Great Bows are going to be crumped horribly by the Stone Trolls. Now, Balance of Power does pull ahead here. Bob is doing some work, fighting against the Sphinx with the Stone Troll support. A Brain Buster going down on the back of the Kepler Guard certainly does some damage, or maybe will allow the Savage Orc Biggins here to actually win this fight. And now basically there's just another group of the Ushapti Great Bow here in the back who are going to be getting chased by the Savage Orc Biggins. The Curse does go down from Ark in the Black here, which is going to be doing good damage and actually breaking off my Boar Boys and probably my Forest Goblin Spider Riders. But Bob is keeping the Stone Trolls immune to psychology, So the only way to break them here is going to be a true leadership break, which isn't the most difficult thing in the world, but considering how limited his resources are in this particular circumstance, it would actually be a pretty tough situation. So the Stone Trolls here getting punted about. You can see the Sphinx here is trying its best, and it is a very good asset here in this matchup. And I do think it was a good pick for my opponent. I just think that, I don't know, yeah, if you're playing the Ushabti Grepo playstyle, he kind of deployed really close to the tree line here, right? And what that ended up doing is it allowed me to get so close to him without taking the heavy Ushabti Grepo fire. At this point, there are some Ushabti Grepo running for the hills, but the Savage Orcs are hot on their tail, plus there's some pigs and spiders. And as soon as the Cav catch those guys, the pigs will catch up, and it's going to be very nasty. Stone Trolls are getting worn down here. You can see taking a little bit of damage, but with the wall active, they're going to be even tougher to break here. And well, it doesn't help with leadership, but it's going to make them much hard hitting. 7150 for their offensive stats is very, very gross. But here the Savage Orcs are piling in. Ark in the Black is trying his best to make his last stand, but these trolls are here, and they're going to be making the Tomb Kings pay the troll toll. And somebody actually had a really funny comment on one of my videos. They mentioned how like the troll toll thing is like ubiquitous. Like, for example, if your opponent's paying the troll toll, they're getting punished. If you're paying the troll toll, you're paying your trolls to succeed. It's kind of like a ubiquitous term. But if you guys haven't heard the reference, make sure to go to YouTube and check out It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the troll toll with Danny DeVito. It's like one of the funniest skits ever. Anyways, here Wurzog and the boys are crumping down the Kepler Guard. Kepler Guard are down for the count. Ark in the Black is not long for this world, and I do a Brain Buster over here. And the reason why I did that is to trigger the Bonewood Staff ability, which every time Wurzog does cast a spell, it basically buffs up your entire army and makes it pretty crazy here. So here you can see the Sphinx here is going to be disintegrating due to army losses. Restore, trying to save it, but that is going to be all she wrote for the Tomb Kings. So yeah, the new Greenskin tools are very good here, but I mean, honestly, my build really didn't use, I mean, Bob was good for sure, but it didn't seem like the terror routes were super impactful considering how aggressive my army was. But you could have done something like this before against Tomb Kings. Basically, you bring Wurzog, you bring the exact same build, you replace the Stone Trolls with like 3 regular Trolls, which is almost the same cost, 8, 16, 24 against 22. So you could honestly get 3 Trolls for the cost if you cut the chevrons. And this was a build that worked really well against Tomb Kings in the past, at least for me. You get Wurzog, you cut Bob, go a little bit wider, and yeah, it's really good against Tomb Kings. But it's gotten a little bit better, of course, with the Stone Trolls and Bob. It makes it a lot better against the route of the Tomb Kings. Now, as far as his build goes, I think it had some teeth against my build. Again, he needed to deploy much further back because with how close he was to the tree line, it really just gave me free access. And also, he deploys further back. And from there, I think grabbing Ark in the Black and dropping Skeleton Summons on me as I do advance is really going to make my formation awkward and less impactful and buys more time for the Great Bows. But yeah, let's go ahead and do some theory crafting. Well played, Outer Region. This was indeed, if any of you guys are feeling deja vu, this was on my King of the Hill stream. So some of you guys may have seen this replay, but I thought it was a good illustration of the Wurzog kind of troll pound build, which is very, very strong. So now let's go ahead and take a look at a counter build, perhaps. I'm not the best Tomb King player these days. I used to play them a lot in tournaments, but I've certainly not played them much recently. So what would I bring here? I do think Ark in the Black is really good. Cetra is also quite strong with his fire piece. Yeah, maybe Cetra is the way to go. You get the Chariot as well, which gives him fire damage, but the Blessed Blade of Petra here could be really, really good. So as far as spells go, I think you can cut these, probably bring the Incantation of Desiccation. If there's going to be like a big old blob fight, cut that. I think this kind of spell kit is going to be very, very good. Now, as far as your infantry goes, man, but I love Ark in the Black in this matchup. Arkin is just so good with the Skeleton Summon. Let's stay with Arkin. I really do like Arkin. Cetra is good, but Arkin is more my playstyle, so I can give you guys more feedback there. So from here, I think Doom and Darkness could be really good. Because if you can't terror out them, you could break trolls very easily with just like a leadership bomb. So if you want to go Ushabti Great Bows, they're certainly tough to defend. I think maybe getting a couple Necropolis Knights with halberds couldn't be bad. And just playing like kind of more of a mobile skirmish type game. So basically, you get a Casket of Souls to rain fire on the Savage Orc Biggins. You get a front line of, I don't think trying to contest the front line is good. So basically, you just want to get a ton of chaff. You get a couple skeletons, you get a couple spears as well, just to go in once the Savage Orcs do get through. You have a chariot here. I think getting a regular skeleton chariot could be good as well. Do we want to get skeleton horsemen? They could be a decent kiting tool. I do think Nehekar horsemen are pretty integral. I think they can be really good if they're supported properly. From here, we have the casket. How are we going to be dealing with the stone trolls, though? That is the big question. Again, you could use the Necropolis Knights with halberds. They will trade pretty effectively there. I do like the big old Sphinx, but it is a big investment and does narrow down your army pretty hard. A Tomb Prince could be okay. He's anti-large, armor-piercing as well. But the casket will, of course, do well. From here, you could get like one Ushabti Great Bow, I think. It's not as much to defend, and that's going to give you some dedicated DPS against the stone trolls. I'm kind of thinking the Necropolis Knights with halberds might not be bad, but how do you deal with the Savage Orcs too? The Casket and Arkin can do well, and I think we get some more Chariot play. So from here, let's mix in a Skeleton Chariot. These two, Arkin cycle charging with a Skeleton Chariot, should wreck Savage Orcs pretty good, plus the Casket of Souls. So you charge in, they surround you, you shoot the Casket of Souls onto the blob. You have the Shopty Great Bows are really just peppering into the big old Troll Toll units. And maybe we do get one Necropolis Knights with Halberds. The anti-large and armor piercing will certainly be pretty good, and that gives you more battlefield control and the mobility. And you want some carrion too, so when you do actually break the trolls, you can chase them off the battlefield. I think something like this could actually be pretty good, but anyways, give it a try, guys. Let me know how it goes in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you back with more content soon. Take care.